What's up everyone? So we've got another image sent in. I'll just show you the one we're working with. This portrait shot right here. So as you can see, a lot of cool blues in the image, a bit of flatness, otherwise pretty much using the natural tones. And yeah, you guys can go give him a follow down in the description. I'll be putting all of his links down there. You can also check out his blog, so you can come over here, check out his blog, check out his portfolio if you want. And yeah, a lot of really nice work, so go check it out. And let's get into Lightroom, see if we can create something like this. Here we have the edited photo from his Instagram and the raw unedited photo that he has sent us. So first thing I'm going to do is bump up the warmth because we're looking a little too blue. A bit warmer now, a bit more white balanced. And let's come down, contrast, drop the contrast, because we're going to add in a few curves. We don't want it too dark. Maybe some shadows. Alright, so let's add in a little bit of contrast with the curves. Okay, so that's the S-curves done, and what I've done is just a real simple, very subtle S-curve in the red, green and blue channels. And what that's going to do is make the colors pop a little more, and it allows you to not go so harsh with the split toning. So I want to add a lot of blue into the highlights and the shadows. So I'll do that now. So as you can see, I put some blue in the shadows there, and what split toning allows you to do is really fine tune where you want the colors showing. So as you can see over in this image, there's not a lot of blue in the blacks. There's maybe a tiny bit, but if I put too much blue in the shadows, you're going to see it gets into the blacks, and you can control that by coming into, say, the blue channel and just pulling a bit more blue out of the shadows there. So then, as you can see at the moment, it's much warmer in those shadows and blacks. And yeah, I just want it to keep a little bit of a blue in there. So I've pulled a bit out, and that's just left me with just the right amount if I add a little bit of blue with the shadows here. Okay, so we might move on to HSL. I actually want to enable profile corrections. Alright, we'll go back up here to exposure now. Just got to fix up our exposure a bit. So drop the highlights. Bring down those whites. Okay, I think a lot can be done with the HSL now. We're going to have to play with the luminance of the blues a lot. So let's try adding up the saturation of these blues. You can see there's a lot of blues in those trees back there in his one and not in ours yet. So let's bump them up. And then play around with the aquas as well. And then just got to get the tone of them right. So we want maybe a bit more teal to the blues. And aquas. go with that. Doesn't look too bad. Right, so let's work with the reds and stuff. So we've got the jacket here. It looks way too purple at the moment. We want more of a red. Okay, so I just want to come in with a filter down the bottom. So you can see it's definitely a lot darker down the bottom here and upward. So that you might think there's a vignette on the image or he didn't enable profile corrections, but you can see the rest of the image has no vignette at all. So it's definitely a filter coming in the bottom here. So I've already placed it, and I just want to do things like if I get rid of the masking, I want to bring down the exposure. And then just to keep a few more cool blues in there, just add in a bit more blue. Okay. Right, so I might just try to do the jacket now. So if I grab a brush, and I've already placed the brush, I just want to brighten the jacket a bit, just to stand out a little more. Let's bump that up. Right. We can play around with luminance. Oranges. Little that way for the face. Not many yellows at all. Keep them kind of warm though. That's typically what you do with the yellows. Greens, no real greens in there either. Okay, the purples. So this is going to help us get the tones of the jacket. So let's shift these more of a red to those purples. And magenta. Let's just desaturate them. And then the reds I might bring back up. Okay, if we go on to skin tone, so we've got the oranges there. Let's just bump them up so we see a few more. Yellows, not really any. Maybe a touch in the skin tone. Luminance might brighten the skin tone a bit. And I'm just going to go in with a brush. So already placed the brush. I just want to add a bit of a pop and more saturation maybe to the skin. So I'll do things like contrast can bring out a bit of color, and so we'll bring that up a bit. And then clarity to just make it a bit sharper and a bit more vibrant there. Okay, sort of happy with that. Let's come back up. HSL, so luminance. let's try to get these blues. You can see that our background isn't quite bright, but we want to just brighten it in certain areas. So say like this bit, for example, I just want to bring up the luminance of the blues. It's going to give the shine to the water and the bit of the sky there. And same with the aquas. They're pretty much doing the same thing. And then I think that could be about it. And you can see how the image is quite flat, the sky is quite flat. So what I've done is, for example, brought down the whites there. Could maybe go a touch up. And then sharpening, just bump it up. And then if you hold Option, and slide the mask, you can see what you're going to be sharpening. So now it's just going to sharpen the big edges and a few of those snowflakes there. We'll leave it about 70 there, or maybe a bit down. Her jacket could be looking a little purple there, slightly towards the oranges maybe. And I think the purples here, if you look very closely in these areas here, I think that's where the purples are. I think they actually look a lot more true purple. Bring up the saturation of them a bit. Just in these areas here. And yeah, I think that's about it. Looking pretty good, looking pretty close. So before and after. And yep, I'll just leave it there, guys. Comment down below who you guys want to see, because it really helps when you comment people that have great images but not too many followers. And then I go through all the comments, and then I go reach out to them on Instagram, ask them to send in a photo, and then do a tutorial on them. So make sure you do that for me. Check out the presets if you like these tutorials. Really happy with all the feedback from those. And yeah, heaps of value in those. I'm currently giving away my entire personal collection, so check that out. And yeah, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one.